explosion.
My name is Dr. UBANI. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm currently the chairman of SPIDEL, that is Section of Public Interest and Development Law of the Nigerian Bar Association. Well, as the chair of SPIDEL, we are in charge of that section that deals with the members of the public. Every matter that has to do with public interest, that is what SPIDEL concerns. And then we're also interested in development law, that the kind of law that drives development in society. SPIDEL is also part of the responsibility given to it. And we must ensure that every point in time there is good governance, there is observance of rule of law. Protection of the judiciary is also part of our responsibility. In fact, we're going for a conference in Abuja next week, and the central theme of that conference is undermining the danger of undermining the authority of judiciary in democracy. And so we have assembled an array of speakers to come and address that particular important topic. The judiciary is a very important arm of government, and we must try as much as possible to protect it and ensure that there is observance of its judgment and orders, failing which we will be thrown into anarchy. So that is briefly the responsibility of SPIDEL. From the account I have read so far is that there is a defamation case by the governor against a citizen of the state. During the trial of that case, there was evidence of not giving fair hearing. So meanwhile, this chief judge has already granted an order indemnifying them with so much big sum of money, I think 1.5 billion, against Effiong. And that case was being handled by former lawyers who were not diligent in handling that case. And so I think he has to brief Inibehe, Effiong, who now came into the matter and brought an application for that judgment to be set aside for lack of fair hearing. After going forth and back, the woman eventually set aside the judgment. And from the proceedings in that case, before the matter judgment was set aside, it wasn't cordial. There were clashes, there were threats from the judge. At the time, she was reminding Inibehe that this court is not channels and the radio station somewhere in Akwa, Ibom. Enough for a judge to descend to that level means he's becoming a bit petty and all that. So she wasn't friendly, and it was a relationship that can be regarded as hostile. So I think an application was brought by Inibehe that the judge, in the light of the fact that she has set aside this judgment, and this is the judgment she has given in favor of a known plaintiff who happens to be the governor of the state, that from available evidence also of close association with the governor, that it will be in her own interest to recuse herself. Remember that she has given judgment for 1.5. Now she wants now to retry the case. There is no way she can fault herself. She will still, because it is said that a matter must not only, justice must not only be done, but must be seen. So what will be the thinking of an average person if eventually she reaches a decision, either in favor of herself or against herself? So it gives an impression of bias, or maybe she was intimidated, or in reversing herself in the subsequent judgment, or she wants to favor her judge. So the best thing for her to do is for her to reassign the case to another judge. who will be in a position to handle the case in an unbiased manner, but she felt that she wanted to go ahead. But what transpired in court that led to this imprisonment is very sketchy, but I don't think it warrants trial and conviction for what you call contempt. It was at the middle of the trial that I understand that my lord sent a journalist that was covering the proceeding out, and then brought in armed policemen who were armed with AK-47. And so the counsel raised an observation that it's critical for his safety. He doesn't know what the intention. I heard that the woman even came to court that they did very unfriendly, and saying that she's not ready to tolerate any nonsense. So already you can see that the atmosphere wasn't friendly. And then bringing in armed policemen, you don't know, and they were sitting, directly at the back of Inibehe. So he raised this concern. And I understand that my lord at that point started writing, and what she was writing is that he's committing Inibehe for contempt. And there are procedures for any contempt, if any, that is committed in the face of the court. You must give him an opportunity to be heard before you now convict. I don't think that opportunity was given to Inibehe. The only thing that we heard that he should remove his wig and gown, and the man said, on what basis? At the time he had to remove it, but the woman has already now made up her mind to send him to prison, which eventually she did for 1 month. So it is something that is very, very mysterious, and clearly not, something that we can, give a correct analysis for now until the full facts, emerges. But from what we have heard so far, including the intervention of the NBA president, Mr. Olumido, we think we will not allow this matter to be swept under the carpet. The NBA will certainly see to the end of this case. There is a plan to go on appeal and then ask for his bail. And then if the man comes, and I'm sure with plethora of authorities on issue of contempt proceeding, the woman will be faulted. Because I know that it is very, very known in law that judges are always advised to be careful and cautious, and not to easily fall to mere irritation by counsels and then begin to commit them for contempt. They should be a bit careful, cautious. Sometimes ordinary irritation that does not touch on the administration of justice, that does not touch on the authority of the court, cannot in any way amount to contempt. So they are being advised to be a bit more cautious and sometimes patient in dealing with matters like this, but I don't think the law was. And based upon previous encounters where she has threatened to actually jail him, it is obvious that there will be a reversal of this particular conviction by the Court of Appeal if the procedure that the NBA in Akwa Ibom is taking does not yield a very friendly disposal of the case, and it leads to issue of going on appeal. I find out I can quote that case will be reversed. That particular conviction will be reversed by Court of Appeal.
Yeah. Baby.